Steve, so what do we know about this, and how significant is it that his visit will be cut short?
Well, I think the fact that his visit is being cut short is less significant than the actual visit in itself, as this is the most high-profile Trump administration diplomatic effort abroad ahead of the election on November 3rd. And it's a way to kind of send a message to China that the Quad, which is the alliance that the United States has formed to kind of battle or counter be a counterweight, I should say, to China. And that's why the United States has this Indo-Pacific strategy, as they call it, rather than Asia-Pacific. They are adding India to that. India, Australia, Japan, and the United States. So the foreign ministers of those countries will all gather in the next 2 days. And Pompeo instead will not go to South Korea, and he will not go to Mongolia this time around. The Trump administration is saying, though, that Mike Pompeo may indeed go to Asia again before November 3rd, which is, of course, the election date, or sometime later this month. And these four countries all, as we know, have had issues with China of late. The United States in that ongoing battle for supremacy, if you will. You have Australia in a diplomatic row. You have, of course, India has a border conflict in the Himalayan regions with China, and Japan, for its part, as an ally of the United States, has a new prime minister. So there's lots to discuss between now and Wednesday, when Mike Pompeo will head back to Washington, perhaps to take part in the efforts to convince voters not to lose motivation ahead of the November 3rd election for Donald Trump.
And Steve, of course, other headlines may be taking up the front page at the moment, but let's not lose sight of the trade front between China and the US. We've got some latest developments when it comes to China's largest chip maker and some of these American export restrictions.
Yeah, this is a story that I reported on a week ago today, on Monday of last week, when we had heard, and Bloomberg News had gotten a wind of this Commerce Department letter to U.S. chip manufacturing companies that they would have to apply for export exemptions, if you will, if they're going to sell to Semiconductor Manufacturing International, China's largest semiconductor maker, also known colloquially, at least, as SMIC. And that stock has tumbled down to a 4-month low since that news last Monday. And SMIC now in a statement has confirmed that U.S. suppliers have been issued letters from the U.S. Bureau of Industry and Security that they are subject to additional export restrictions. And in that statement, SMIC says that move by the United States could have material adverse effect on its production and operations.